those ladies are born again? Is there any sign? Then why are they bringing corrupting to God? If I am if ye call me master and Lord, yes I am. But if actually I'm your master and Lord, will you be offering polluted things unto me? Jeroboam made priests of those that the Lord did not prescribe them to be priests, not of the tribe of Levites. So some of these churches, the people they appoint to do things there, go and watch the way those boys barb their hair. Go and watch the way those girls dress. Go and watch the way the ushers. I heard a preacher. This preacher the Lord used to speak about my ministry in 1986. So I was thrilled. And in preaching, he could quote scriptures, many. That's right back in the university days. So, after the university, I was walking. One time I was in Lagos. I was passing by somewhere and saw the advertisement and the publicity that the man was coming to Lagos to preach in a program. I said, fine, I will go to this man and listen to him again. I enjoyed him. I remember how many years ago the Lord used him to speak about my ministry. I saw him. I said I was the one you were speaking to. Now, when we entered the church with a brother, I saw ladies with bogus trousers. Hey, you're welcome. Yes, you're welcome. I said, hey. Kai. Kerosene has fallen into this soup. A goodly preacher. So you don't know the discipline of righteousness. Hey, I couldn't stay there because my spirit would not align with that place. I loved the man. I wanted to hear the man. But see the polluted environment. What preaching will you preach? How do you sun your cloth when there's rain falling? How will it dry? How do you preach when the environment is polluted? Polluted. How do you do that? So, that is the situation. Let's cry. Is it nothing to you that pass by? When you see these pollutions in churches, yeah. Verse 16. Lamentation chapter 1, verse 12, verse 16. For these things I weep, mine eye runneth down with water, because the comforter that should comfort me, that should relieve my soul, is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Children desolate. The enemy has prevailed. All schools corrupted. And yet, the principals and the proprietaries of these schools are Christians. Elders in the church. They will not come to the school and impose righteousness on the people. At least in dressing. They will not do it. They are looking for money. They are looking for members. God has lost people. Righteousness has died. It's only the remnant, the remaining few. The remaining few that are surviving by the power of God. True saints in this generation are mourning for the fall of righteousness, for the fall of holiness of Christ, from ministers to members. Can't talk about holiness from ministers to members, all the same, like father, like mother, like father, like son, like mother, like daughter. That is the situation now. Denominations have gone because of the competition they are making with each other. Who will carry the people? Leave my people, whether they're born again or not. They have blocked God from having access to their members, because the glory of the king is in the multitude of his subjects. How are you coming to my members and say you're preaching to them? Your members are not born again. Your members don't know the righteousness of God. Your members are not going to heaven. They say, no, leave them like that. Hey. Hey. Kai. Some churches are now saying, before the women take Holy Communion, they must wear earrings. No, that's a how many of you have heard this? It's a practical thing. You must wear earring. If you don't wear earring, no Holy Communion. No, you can't take it. In fact, to appoint somebody to be a pastor, the wife must wear earring. The wife must wear earring. Your wife is not wearing earring, then you should suffer demotion. Because if you are not able to make your wife wear earring, how will you pastor the church of God? You see how they turn the word upside down. You see how they turn it? Just to drive away God. To remove the glory of the Lord from the church. For these things I weep, my eye. My eye. Tears are falling from my eyes. Yes. Then, what is the Lord telling the remnant? The message of God to the remnant. What is the Lord saying? He said, it is you that are mine. You that keep yourselves from these pollutions. You are the ones that are mine. In Malachi chapter 3. Malachi chapter 3. I read verse 16 to verse 18. Malachi chapter 3. Verse 16 to 18. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts. In that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. The Lord is saying, the other people are not serving him. It is this remnant that are crying against these people because of lack of righteousness. It is this remnant that are serving God. They are very few, and they are sorrowful because of what their brothers are doing, because of what their fathers are doing, because of what others are doing in the society in the name of church. These remnant that are keeping to the truth, they are mine. The Lord will show it. He will show it. Even in this life, he will show that you are his own, because you are keeping to this truth.